Welcome, college basketball fans, to the Full Court Press Podcast with LT and Sammy D. This is the podcast that brings you legendary stories from college basketball's golden era and dives in deep with a current analysis of today's game. Get ready for the most energetic and entertaining college basketball podcast around. Let's get it.
Hello and welcome to another Full Court Press college basketball coaches show. Luke Taylor here. Sam is no longer with us, at least this week. He'll be back next week, hopefully. I've been saying that now for 3 weeks. This is a big one for me. As you know, where is it? Oh, over there is the Fab Five. And the smartest thing I've ever done is I married someone that has a Michigan degree. So this is a special one, but don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Follow us on all these social media handles where you can, the Full Court Network. We got Dusty May, head men's basketball coach of the University of Michigan. Welcome to the Full Court Press, Coach.
Hey, Luke, I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. So how's it going? I mean, there's no off season.
Things are going well. As coaches, there's the landscape is ever changing, but it just seems like as soon as we have our team in the fall and they're trickling in the summer and they have their camps and things, so you never really have a full unit until August, September. But when they get here in August, September, all the complaints and the negativity goes away because now you're a basketball coach with a basketball team, and that's kind of like Christmas morning. So we really like our guys. They're hardworking. They're unselfish. They seem to really care about each other in such a short period. So we're excited to continue to see what we can become.
Yep. And I think you did the worst thing you could have done in the first year. You made a Sweet 16.
I don't know. That was a lot of fun. That group, rarely as a coach do you feel like your group maxes out or comes close to their ceiling. And I think we had a few players I'm sure that would have preferred to have a little better individual seasons. But as a group, I think we came close to our ceiling. But yeah, it was rewarding to see where that team started to where we ended up in March.
Yeah, and it's pretty crazy. You've got some really key pieces coming back, which is nice. You don't really see that much in the college basketball landscape. I mean, you came in, you had to recruit pretty much everyone. Fortunately, you don't have to recruit everyone every year like some of your colleagues, unfortunately. But how has your kind of recruiting philosophy changed with the ever-changing college landscape? Has it changed?
I think so. I think subconsciously it changes, and it's continuing to change. We believe in our developmental system. Obviously, in year one, we felt like it was important to win, put a good product on the court, and prove that we could help players at this level. And even though we knew our players at FAU were this level, and a lot of the teams we played against, the North Texases and the Memphises and those guys, we knew that they were this level as well. But there's just a lot more extra that comes with coaching in the Big Ten or in the Power Four or whatever you want to call it. But we felt like it was very important that we put a product on the court that was appealing to future recruits, and for us to build. We didn't want to have to sell a vision again in year two. We wanted to be able to sell something concrete, and there was a proof of concept. And so we felt like we accomplished that. And so we hit the portal and felt like we brought in some immediate contributors, but we also were really excited about the four guys. Essentially, we lost our 1, 2, 3 from all statistical categories, and we brought back 4 through 7. And so I think that's a lot in today's climate to bring back 4 rotational guys that all have a chance to start or be in the immediate rotation. So, but now we're trying to figure out a long-term plan and also a short-term plan, because we're never going to take a year where we're just rebuilding. And so we've got to do a great job of evaluating our young guys every day, developing them, and then trusting that they're going to be ready when it's their time.
Yeah. And like LJ showed glimpses of what he can become. And you look at, Burnett, Rowdy, I mean, the guys you got coming back, even Big Will. But what I love is your transfer class and your freshman class too. Now, like Zoolander, I feel like people need to know about Yaxel. Okay. How does that go? Okay. Because you had firsthand experience, as did I, you more so, of seeing him at UAB. How does this conversation go in today's landscape where everybody is friends? How does that go with you and Coach Kennedy? Using you as an
To be
example.
honest, this is a whole new landscape. But typically, and this happened with another very prominent coach. You hear these. We get calls. We field calls throughout the year from coaches, from agents, and they'll say, "Hey, Namari Burnett. Let's just use him for example. He's going to go in the portal next year. He's going to finish at Michigan this year, and he's going to go into the portal next year because they signed a McDonald's All-American, and they know he's going to play. It could be a number of reasons." Yep. And so when that rule, whatever rule it was that gave the junior college players another year, obviously the assistants start scouring the universe to just kind of see who might be available. And word came out that Yaxel might not go to the NBA, might enter the portal. And so I picked up the phone and called Andy Kennedy, who I know well and respect a great deal, and just said, "Hey, if Yaxel goes in the portal, what do you think? Would this be something that he would be interested in?" And blah, blah, blah. And AK basically said, look, his goal is going to be to go to the NBA after the season. There are a couple of schools that would probably be a good fit for him, and you would fit that bill. And so when the time is there, then we'll readdress this. So I'm not sure if that's the right or wrong way to go about it, but it's you never want to interfere with a player's season, a player's team, even if, in Europe, they know they're leaving the next year if they're having a great season in second division, Spain or whatever the case. But so we worked with AK, tried to figure out, what he was going to do. And then once their season finished, he went in the portal shortly thereafter. And there was very, very little recruitment with Yaxel. It was probably the simplest of any that we've had other than Vlad and LJ, the guys that we already knew, where he was very familiar with us. And obviously the way Danny played last year was intriguing to all these big guys who were multi-skilled and multifaceted. So at that point, he was going to consider a few schools, and he was in Chicago interviewing agencies. And we said, you know what, that's a 3-hour drive. When you're done with that, do you mind if we just come over and sit down and meet for 30 minutes or an hour, or whatever the case? And another competitive school was actually in the night before having dinner with him. And you realize how fast things are moving as soon as these guys go into the portal. I think some of the schools have their private jet on the runway ready to go pounce on whoever's out there. And at that point, he said he wanted to go through the NBA draft process, and we felt good about where we were. Obviously, with Will Cheddar coming back, we had depth in the front line. I can't remember what the timeline and all the other things were, but we felt like we were in a position we could take a calculated risk and wait on him to go through the process. Some other schools tried to give him a financial incentive to not do the NBA process and just commit to them right away. We didn't do that. And, it was, like I said, it was a very short recruitment where he cut his list of maybe 2 or 3 immediately. And then a day or two later said, "Coach, I'm coming to Michigan." And the rest is history. He went through the entire process and couldn't get in. I think if he got in a first round guarantee, then he would be gone now. But he never got 100% stamp guarantee. So he felt like this was a chance for him to improve his stock and get better, and also just enjoy playing at a school like Michigan.
Yeah, and 3 quick comments on that. It's great for you. He's a first round. I would have stamped all over. I mean, I've got to watch him. I mean, he's a ball player, and I'm excited he's going to be at Michigan and in the Big Ten. Number 2, I think you need to give Coach Kennedy more than a fruit basket. And number 3, what would Coach Knight think about all this?
That's a great question. I'm not sure what Coach Knight, obviously to win at the level he won at for as long as he won, he's very adaptable. And the beautiful thing about Coach Knight, though, unlike most of us, he didn't need better players to win. We need better players to win. Most of the time, he's one of those coaches that he could beat you with his team, and then he could take your team and beat his old team. And that's just how masterful of a coach he was. But I don't think he would enjoy just the movement. I mean, you look at his impact on people, and it lasted well beyond the 4 years. But when I was there, he started recruiting more junior college players for whatever reason. I don't know the rationale behind his decisions at that point. I was just trying to survive, and and stay out of the way and do a good job. But so he was evolving then, and I would say he would continue to evolve now to whatever's best. But I don't think he would enjoy the transactional nature of this profession. And even that word transactional is misused. I mean, I think we have a lot of very healthy transactions in our lives. When I go to the barber, I just want a good haircut, and he wants a wage to pay us to feed his family and whatnot. But in this business, in coaching, this is a lifelong thing for us. It's a lifelong relationship for us. So we enjoy having guys for longer periods and getting to know them. But if we have a guy for 1 year, we're going to be in his corner the rest of his life as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Coach, I don't think you pay for haircuts. You just go downstairs to the arena.
We have to pay for the haircut, but it's the convenience of it. He's tried not to charge me a few times, but I'd rather just pay and keep it simple.
Yeah. So coming off a Sweet 16 experience, what was the kind of idea with your non-conference schedule? I like how you're having an exhibition against St. John's. I might actually watch an exhibition. I know people get so clamored about exhibitions, but like what one coach said is you don't know what you're actually doing, how much you're playing. I mean, exhibitions are good from a coaching standpoint and development and figuring it out. But like, what was your idea after having such a great season and knowing you have some key players coming back and some key players coming in with your non-conference schedule?
Well, first and foremost, I'm going to give Brad Underwood a lot of credit. When we're in our league meetings or just bumping into him in Chicago, and he's a very forward thinker. I think he's probably the guy in our league that I really listen when he speaks, because I think he's always speaking out of a lens of what's best for everyone, not what's best for me, what's best for Illinois, or what's best for Michigan. And so it's doing what's best for the Big Ten, the enterprise, our fans, our players who want to play big-time games in big-time environments. So I think when you just take our own personal beliefs and nostalgia out of it, it's always doing what's best for the program and the university and the fan base. And other than travel, there was no downside playing St. John's. We forecasted what we think our weaknesses are going to be this year, and the teams we've scheduled early in the season we think are going to expose those weaknesses, or at least force us to prepare for those things, because they would be perceived weaknesses for the way our roster's built. And St. John's, obviously, with their intensity, the way they played, I equate it to when we were at FAU, we did a close scrimmage. It would have been public with Jim Crutchfield at Nova Southeastern, and we ended up beating them in a close scrimmage. I think we're probably past the statute of limitations of publicizing a close scrimmage, but I told the staff afterwards, I said, that might be our best win of the year, and that's how much respect I have for him and his program.
He's a great coach.
Great coach. But I said, we learned today what it really means to play hard, like to play hard. And so that was the year we made the Final Four, and I definitely believe that day propelled us, at least shifted our mindset to, even though we think we're playing hard, the way his teams play are at another level. And so that's what I'm looking for with St. John's. We have a group that plays hard, and in practice, our guys, they bring it, and it's physical, and it's intense, and it's hardworking. But I think when you go play a Rick Pitino coach team, you see a different level of intensity. It's much like Coach Knight, where you're talking about guys who have done this at the highest level, at the top of our profession for a number of years. So just to have a chance to compete and learn from their program and see where we stack up, it made sense on a lot of fronts. And then to take our guys to be able to play in Madison Square Garden. And I think there was 9,000 or 10,000 seats sold the first week. I anticipate it being close to a sellout, which tells you that it's not as if the standings matter as much as fans want to go see two good programs battle and be entertained with great basketball, and hopefully we'll be able to do that.
Yeah, this is like SEC football level. No offense to Michigan football, as you know firsthand. I'm really excited about Elliot Cadeau, and it's funny you bring up St. John's. Ian Jackson, a fellow teammate. I think he's going to fit in well. I mean, Damara, the big man. I mean, you got some height coming in. Give me one player that people need to keep an eye on.
Well, I think we're going to be a team that has a great amount of depth and versatility, and we'll have different best players every night. You said Elliot's had a really productive summer and fall. The same thing with Adai. Those guys have been great. I'm spacing on our other transfer portal guys because they're all on our team now. But obviously, Yaxel is going to be a monster. Perez Johnson, I'm forgetting about him because he's been nursing a minor injury for the last couple weeks. So there's a recency bias. But in all honesty, I'm so pleased with our 4 returners. Those guys, they've made a significant jump with their bodies. I'm going to shout out our strength staff, our strength conditioning staff. They've done an amazing job with their bodies. They play the game at a much higher level from a cerebral standpoint. Statistically, they're all shooting the ball better, significantly better than they did this period last year. So we're firm believers that how far we go this year, our returners are going to be a big reason why. And they've also translated and taught our culture to the new guys, which that's the most important thing. And when I say our culture, those guys help develop the culture. So they are actually partly the creators of it. And so for them to share it, pass it down, and for those new guys to buy into it, it's been awesome. I think we have really strong buy-in right now.
Yeah. Coach, if the coaching career ever fails, which it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon, you've got a great career in politics. I asked for one, you gave me your whole freaking roster.
Well, and to be honest, it's sincere, and I take the political, I take the politician. That's now an offensive statement. I'm just in today's climate, but no. In all honesty, Will Cheddar left practice for class early yesterday, and I felt bad because someone said, with Will being out, is that the reason you changed the drill? And I forgot that Will was out because I'm so engrossed in coaching the team and the whole and the young guys that don't ever get to play just as much as the star players. So I say that with all sincerity, but if politics, if I could help the world be a better place with politics, then I would dive in.
I'm going to start calling you Senator May.
I appreciate it. I was always called Accountant May or CPA May. I think so this is a new one for me.
Oh my God, the senator. I'm going to start calling you the senator. So we do a little thing called the shot clock, just very light and airy. We have a lot of fun with this. If it's more than one word answer, have at it. If you got a short story, have at it. So we'll start very easily, okay? Now, this is interesting because you're Indiana grad, but one word to describe Michigan before you were at Michigan.
God, I can't describe it in one word. One thing I was always fascinated with Michigan football. The wing tee helmets, and I was never a big college football fan or NFL fan, but I was the fight song, the wing tee was always just something that was really cool about the brand of Michigan and the block M and the 2-color logo and whatnot. But man, my formative years in the game, Coach Knight and Alan Henderson coming up and playing the Fab Five, those were games where I lived and died Indiana basketball, but those games, it was tough, where it was like a 51-49, where you loved the Fab Five so much that it was hard to root against those guys, even if you had to.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet the Fab Five and just thank them because of them, our high school team didn't have to wear short shorts anymore. So my sperm count and everything else, thank my kids. So,
I played AAU under the Bloomington Red umbrella, and we changed our uniforms the one of the years, and probably freshman or sophomore year in high school, to mimic the Michigan, the big block B instead of block M, and we wore Maize and Blue uniforms out of Bloomington, Indiana. So as far as a cultural standpoint and what they did for the game, there's probably only been a few others that did more for our sport historically. Outside of Michael Jordan, they might be number 2.
Yeah, easily. What does culture mean to you in the current kind of ever-evolving college landscape?
The culture is always the people. It's the feeling. It's the people. I'm not a slogan guy. Just try to live it and walk the walk every single day and pour into our guys and even the transfer portal. Hey, transferring sometime is healthy and it's good. I left Division II school where I was playing and running cross country because I wanted to be a basketball coach, and I felt like I would learn more from Coach Knight and prepare myself for that career there. So I think every situation's different. We're rarely upset when one of our guys decides to leave, because it gives us an opportunity to bring someone else into our program, but also maybe who we are and our values don't align with where they are in their lives right now. So people change jobs, people change colleges. Now I will say the multi-transfer, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt these guys to not have a connection to a school, and to have to come back and get degrees when you're older is much more difficult. So, but just culture's the people. I mean, we've been able to attract great people in our program, and that's why our culture.
Okay. Funniest recruiting trip.
Recruiting trip, man. I'm gonna shout out Coach Mike Davis. He hated to fly. He would fly, but he didn't like to. So anywhere, if we got a beat on a kid, we jumped in his car and we would drive 12, 15 hours to see a player. And he had audio books. He had his ministers on CD at the time, and so all those stories were memorable. Sometimes we would stop and he'd want to play in a casino. We'd have some free time. We'd go play blackjack for a couple hours, get back in the car. So those trips with Coach were very informative because he taught me a lot about people. And as you're a young guy trying to crack into this business, you've got to be able to understand and connect with people from all different regions, races, religions, countries, and whatnot. So he really helped me understand people better.
That's awesome. That's awesome. One word to describe Coach Izzo.
Intense, competitive. 2.
The senator speaks. 2 words. 2 words. All right. What conference team led the league in fouls called against them as a team? Who was first?
Fouls called against them as a team. I don't know, but I would go with one of the new coaches, one of the first year head coaches.
Okay. Can you give me a school?
Golly, who fouled a lot? They got called for fouls a lot. That's a really tough one.
You were 7th at 17.1. Who was first? Just throw out a name. No one's going to listen or watch this anyway, so it's fine.
Indiana.
Number 1 was Ohio State. 19.6. Who had the least called fouls, or most favorite coach, as I like to call it in the Big Ten, amongst officials?
Who had the least fouls? I'm going the Boilers.
Iowa.
Okay,
No,
that makes sense.
McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So, Coach McCollum's going to have some work to do. 15.4 called.
I promise you, Coach McCollum's teams are going to foul more, whether they're called or not. I guarantee that. You talk about intense and physical and scrappy. His teams are going to be they're going to be a pain in the butt to play against. He's an excellent.
Oh, I know it's going to be fun. Give me.
But my theory of being a first year head coach was right on. There's relationships, there's people, connection to the relationships. So that's very believable.
You did well though, 7th. That's good. You can only go up, or in this case, down. We
weren't nearly physical enough, so
that's going to change. You got some height.
Now we did. We're much more physical now.
One coach told me, have 3 people foul the same person. That way you can only get called once.
Which coach said it?
I think that might have been Coach Frank Martin.
Okay. I was thinking Huggins. Frank Martin,
yeah. Case in point. All right, give me your Mount Rushmore of college basketball coaches.
My Mount Rushmore of college basketball coaches. I think Bill Self is amazing. Obviously coming off his worst year as a coach in 30-some years, but I think he's incredible. I think we've already talked about Coach Pitino. That's 2. And we're talking about current coaches. Oh, you mean Coach Knight? Coach. Yeah, I was thinking current coaches, Coach Knight and Coach K. Those are probably the 2 the most obvious.
Yeah. All right, last question Sam always asks. What can people expect from year 2 of the Dusty May and coaching staff era? Big shout out to Mike Boynton. for Michigan basketball?
Just a team that's even more connected and more familiar with each other. In year one, we're still trying to figure out what our identity was going to be at this level and in this job, in this situation. And we feel like we're much closer in year two to having our identity established to what we're going to be as far as the nuts and bolts of winning and losing. And it's a good shout out. Mike Boynton is as good as there is. Our success last year is a direct reflection of how connected our staff and players are, and how well they work together in unison every single day. It's awesome to see a group of coaches serve players, and to see the players serve each other like they do.
Yeah. Coach, you're going to stick on one more minute. It was funny when we were talking. Ryan Jamison just texted me, so we'll talk about that quickly just after the air. But he said to say hello. But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We appreciate Coach May. Really excited for Michigan. We actually have no pressure for him in our preseason Final Four, which changes every second on the internet according to different people. And, we love the internet. So follow us on the Full Court Network. If you haven't subscribe to the Full Court Network YouTube page by smash the subscribe button. We'll be back next week, hopefully with Sam on the Full Court Press, a college basketball coaches show.